Good afternoon, everyone. We are the reporters of Modulate entitled The Political Self and Being Filipino. Before we start, may I introduce myself to you. My name is Colner Sapul from BSHM1D. Objective of the study: trace of the historical root of the Filipino values and traits. Second, known the community and institution factor that affects the Filipinos' identity. Third, known the role of the self in establishing a democratic culture. Fourth, discover one source of pride, which the national heritage from which one can truly develop a political self with an authentic Filipino identity. Introduction. This topic will help you reflect and understand more with regard to your political self. They say it is difficult to describe the Filipino identity. As we all know, we are colonized by the Spaniards for more than 300 years. We are also influenced by Chinese, Japanese, and American because it's colonialized us. Have you ever asked yourself what is truly Filipino identity? Recall an instance of maybe you can imagine a moment when you are only Filipino covering among a group of people from different nationalities. Will you know the proud of speaking about beautiful things with your country and being a Filipino? Are you going to speak of your country, or will you be just quest- questly mortified by the fact that you are a Filipino? Truly, we have a lot to be proud of it. If only we realize there are things unique to this identity of the country, and we might be able to rethink our sense of our pride.
Pictures. What Filipino traits are being shown? What comes to mind upon seeing these pictures? What are your insights? How do you feel upon seeing these photos? In the first picture, the Filipino traits that being shown is what we call unity or bayanihan. Upon seeing this picture, it comes to my mind that bayanihan of Filipinos are helping each other without expecting rewards. My insights about Bayanihan is characterized by cooperation, collaboration, and often demonstrated by helping one another in times of need. The second picture that Filipino traits are being shown is food sharing or salo-salo. Like in the first picture, we Filipinos are forgiving to each of us. My insights about food sharing or salo-salo is an expression of Filipino that considers delicious, abundant, edibles as a love language. The third picture that Filipino traits being shown is bahala na si Batman mentality. It comes to my mind that we Filipino are always saying this line when we are lazy to do something. My insight about this line is don't let this line affect you, or don't let this line be your habit, because you will lose in challenge that you are facing.
Good day, Mom. Good day, everyone. So I'll be discussing about the lesson proper, important concepts or definition of terms and factors affecting political self, from family to history. This lesson will focus on the historical context as to how Filipinos develop our traits and identity. The following readings will help you refresh your mind and take you back in your Philippine history and social science classes. The following are important concepts defined in order for you to have clear understanding for the lesson. So, ang lesson nga akon i-report are the important concepts or definition of terms. Sa important concepts, I'll be discussing about the politics, power and political self. Next is the factor affecting political self, and I will be discussing also about the family, school or education, institution, and lastly, the history. So, in important concepts, we have the first one, which is the politics. It is the activities associated with the governance of a country or other area, especially the debate or conflict among individuals or parties, having or hoping to achieve power. So, ang politika tana, amo man dya tana ang proseso sa pag-share kang powers or kapangyarihan kag paghimo kang desisyon sa komunidad kung ano ang dapat himuon para sa pag-unlad kang atong community or country. Kag nagatudlo man dya kanaten kung ano ang dapat kag hindi naton himuon. For example, when it comes on crisis, din kita nagaparapit para mabuligan kita. Siyempre sa mga politiko. And it is also the act of governance and also an act of taking advantage. So next is the power. What is power? Power implies possession of ability to exert force, authority, or influence. So, ang power man kuno, amo ang naga-influence, naga-control, kag naga-epekto sa sangkataho. Pwede man natin dyan magamit sa pampolitika kag ekonomiya. For example, when we are doing something, or example, we're on a game, what is our main goal or purpose joining that team? Diba? Para mag-aag kita, kagitaw ang aton best. So, ano aton himuon para ma-reach ang aton na goal? Of course, we need a power or strength to win that game. And without a power and faith or strength, we can't do anything what we are aiming. So next again is the political self. What is political self? It refers to the impact of the self developed through the interplay of social factors affecting its political dimension. Ang political self, amo na dya kung paano ikaw nakilala sa politika. Nagapakita man dya kung ano imo personal experiences nga nagaapekto sa imo paglantaw or pag-intindi sa politika. Kung gusto mo i-improve ang imo political self, syempre himuon mo tanan para makilala ka mga tao. Pero una sa tanan, dapat kilalahanan mo ang imo kaugalingan at is mag-serve sa tao, di ba? Sa raman na makapa-improve kang political self, nakadepende man sa imong eskwelahan, experience mo sa community, hag sa pagpanilag mo sa imong palibot. Okay, let's proceed to the factors affecting political self. So, the first one is the family. So, in family, we have the orientation and dynamics and the personality. Okay, I'll read it first. The family's central role in forming the individual's political personality derives from its role as the main source and focus for the satisfaction of all his basic innate needs. The child, therefore, tends to identify with his parents and to adapt their outlook toward the political system. The father becomes the prototypical authority figure and thereby initiates the child's view of political authority. Under familiar and other social circumstances in which the child progresses from dependence to autonomy, he is likely to develop into a mature and responsible citizen. When he suffers physical or emotional deprivation, he is likely to establish a pattern of chronic dependence that includes the political. When conflict generates between his own emerging needs, family patterns for satisfying them, and demands and opportunities of the large society, the growing child is in mental turmoil. Only gradually, then, can he change from hierarchized to equalized patterns of political behavior, in which he can responsibly share power with his new equal fellow citizens. Despite family disagreements and generation gaps, children tend to grow up and vote the way their parents do. Families are generally the first and often the most enduring influence on young people's developing political opinions. As people grow older, other influences crisscross the family, and naturally, their attitude tends to diverge from those of their parents. However, the influence still remains. Logically, the more politically active your family, the more likely you are to hold the same beliefs. Just look at the Bush family. This relationship is less strong on specific issues like school prayer, abortion, and welfare programs, but they all hold the same general political view. So, okay, sa family na, for example, family nyo may politicians. Sa pamilya nyo may politicians. So, bali dito pa lang na-oriented ikaw ang imo nga individual personality. Kag na-adapt mo rin, amo nga daw adjusted yun ikaw, kaya nakita mo sa parents mo kung ano ang life as a politician. So, kaya nakita na sa ginikanan ng kung ano ang pangabuhi ka sa kapolitisyan. Kung nagka-interest tana sa bagay ngaya, adjusted yun tana sa kagalingan na kag napakita na sa ana ginikanan nga independent yun gid na kag responsable. Kag wala na nagadepend sa naginikanan kag na-develop ka na ang maging responsible citizen. Then, kung makabatsyag na kang physical emotion, daw na neglect na, naisip na nga maging independent na lang kung mabatsyagan na nga daw na hindi anta na, daw mas naging problematic ta na kag sa amor nga nabatsyagan na, gamat-amat ta na magbago sa ana families or sa ibang tao. Pata sa nailigya kayo na sa ako na ginbasa nga kung ano gani ang na-notice mo sa imong family, like bisan hindi man about politics, like for example daw sa family nyo daw tama sila ka busy, may mga obra, tapos ikaw daw napabayaan na mo ikaw ang amor da kaisa daw nagasulod mo sa imong huna-huna siguro dapat maging independent lamang ako, dapat hindi rin ako mag-depend ka nanda kay mas nga kinanglan sunda daw wala man ka nasunda daw wala lang sa tilabot ka na ako amor daw gina-distance po man imo self sa imong family. Okay, next is school or education institution. So, school often have multiple roles to play. Not only should they give students the knowledge they need to enter the labor market, they should also teach young people about democracy and develop students' capacity to exercise their citizenship. A third task for school is to enhance political equality in society by supporting the least privileged students. In this study, we explore how school can contribute to increase equality by strengthening students' political efficacy. So, ang eskwelahan or any education, bahol ang bulig na kanang tao sa estudyante ka mga kinahanglan or knowledge nga pwede sanda sa labor market kag nagatudlo sa young people about democracy kag naga-develop kang capacity nanda. Kag ang sarap pagdig nga mahimo ka eskwelahan is to develop nga mag-equal ang quality paagi sa pagsuporta sa mga estudyante kag paagi sa kadyagi na discover natin kung paano ang eskwelahan nga maka-strengthen ang mga estudyante sa ang political efficacy. Okay. So lastly is the history. Okay? The colonization of Spanish, American, Japanese, and among others. Our historical experience provides a profound truth or how our identifying values and traits have developed. Studying history enables us to develop better understanding of the world in which we live. Building knowledge and understanding of historical events and trends, especially over the past century enables us to develop a much greater appreciation for current events today. Ang first natin is colonization of Spanish. So, kang colonization of Spanish kang 15th century as sa 19th century. Sa mga panahon ngayon, nag-travel ang mga Spaniard sa iba-ibang lugar sa kalibutan, sa Amerika, Asia, and Africa. Okay, next is colonization of America. So, ang colonized kang Americans, nag-describe kang pag-abot kang Europeans, particularly the Spanish, English, French, and Dutch. Kag ang mga natabo kato amo ang pangangalakal at pakikipagsalpukan sa pribadong karakalan kang 16th century. Kag kolonyal na pananakop kang 17th to 18th century. Next is ang pagsiklab ng kolonyal na revolusyon kang 18th century. Pang-apat, Manifest Destiny kang 19th century. Tapos ang ikalima, pagsakop ng Puerto Rico, Guam at Pilipinas kang 1898. Ang next is neocolonialismo kang 20th century. Kag ang pag-unlad ng demokrasya kang 20th century. Nag-start diyang tanan ngaya kang 16th century hasta sa 20th century. Next is the colonization of Japanese. Among tanadya ang naga-describe kang imperialism kang 19th century hasta mag-Second World War. Ang mga nagkaratabo tana sa colonization ngaya kang 1868 amo ang Meiji Restoration, kang 1894 to 1895 amo ang First Sino-Japanese War, kang 1904 to 1905 amo ang Russo-Japanese War, then kang 1914 to 1918 ang World War I. Next again is interwar period. Then ang Second Sino-Japanese War natabo kang year 1937 to year 1945. Kag antes matapos ang kolonisasyon, natabo ang World War II, which is kang 1939 to 1945. Then lastly, ang pagtapos kang kolonisasyon. Okay. Ang pagtuon natin about history, amo gidya makabulig ka natin para mamanaan natin kung ano ang mga nagkaratabo kauna nga wala pa kita nabuhi dyan sa kalibutan. Kag para mamanaan man natin kung ano andang mga culture kato, para makumpara natin sa tulad ng mga generation nga daw wala natin nga gina-practice sa tulad. So, amo na natin nagatapos ang akan nga topic. Thank you.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Our topic for today is culture or belief system. Culture certainly influences politics. As such, culture is intrinsic to society and to the human being. It is not meaningful to see culture as an outside force which limits the freedom of the individual, but rather as that which makes the individual human. It is hard to envisage a person not tempered by culture or a society not governed according to the values, beliefs, and norms embedded in a particular culture. Our basic point of departure is the centrality of culture in societal development, its particularity and dynamism, and not least its intertwinement with politics. So, ang culture culture refers to the shared patterns of behaviors, beliefs, values, and customs that characterize a particular group of people. It encompasses the practices, ideas, language, art, religion, and social behaviors that are passed down from one generation to other. Cultural belief system, on the other hand, are the frameworks of ideas and principles that shape a group understanding of the world and guide their behavior. Examples of culture or belief system is religion, indigenous beliefs, secularism, nationalism, cultural customs and traditions, gender roles and societal norms, et- ethical systems. These examples highlight the diverse nature of cultural belief system and how they influence various aspects of human life from spirituality and governance to social customs and individual. Both culture and belief system are deeply interconnected. Culture influences and is influenced by the belief system held within a society. The beliefs, values, and practices of the culture are often transmitted through various means such as education, family, social institutions, media, and religious or spiritual teachings. They play a vital role in shaping individuals' identities, influencing their perceptions, and guiding their actions. Culture and belief systems provide people with a sense of belonging and identity as well as shared understanding of the world and their place in it. They also contribute to social cohesion by fostering a common set of values and norms that govern behavior with a community. Moreover, they help to preserve and transmit knowledge, traditions, and customs from one generation to the next. It is important to note that culture and belief systems are not stagnant, but rather dynamic and constantly evolving. They are subject to changes, adaptations, and influences from internal and external factors such as globalization, migration, technological advancements, and social shifts. As a result, cultures and belief systems vary across the different regions, ethnic groups, and historical periods, reflecting the diversity and complexity of human society.
Religion or church. Religious beliefs are significantly related to a national political participation. For religious activities, identifying with a religious traditional reduces participation, but participation in church activities increases political participation. Beliefs influence personal and social identity as the values and religious beliefs make a part of an individual identity. The different influences, however, may have a negative or positive effect in influencing beliefs. For example, if a value such as healthy relationships is tough in a family but the parents divorce, that may lead to a negative part of their identity and those values change. All, older studies dating to the late 1940s generally show the Jewish voters are more likely to support Democrats than are Catholics or Protestants. Catholics tend to be more liberal on economic issues such as minimum wage and taxes than they are on social issues such as abortion and divorce. More recent studies have focused on how aff- affiliates of the religious right differ in their political attitudes and behavior from everyone else. The religious right tends to support more conservative candidates for public office and they are more likely to contribute to the Republican Party than to the Democratic Party. This tendency is more clearly associated with social issues such as prayer, abortion, and divorce than economic issues or foreign affairs. Next is media. Media portrayal or religious can impact strongly onto a person's beliefs such as media is a strong influence and can frame or shape certain perceptions. For example, if a TV show promotes Buddhism, then those who idolize the TV show may be strongly impact to, to believe in such religious. Media refers to the means of communication that reach or influence people widely. Examples include television. Examples are television, radio, newspapers, magazines, social media, and the internet, all of which are used to convey information, entertainment, or message to a large audience. Next is government. Government implies that there are relations of power between rulers and ruled, but the context of rule is not limited to the state. Government in this sense is an operation whether the power relationship is between states and citizens and employees, masters and dogs, or even oneself and oneself. Think of the training regimes, studying routines or diets people but put themselves through as they seek to change or direct their lives in particular way. The role of the state and its influence on society, or and vice versa, is just one aspect of governmental relationships. A government is a system or organization that has the authority to administer and enforce laws within a particular territory. It establishes order, provides public services, and manages resources. Examples: democratic governments like the United States, monarchies like Saudi Arabian. And last, who is a Filipino, Filipino traits and values. The Filipino family has values that have been pressured and passed on for many generations already. These values are believed to be beneficial. It fulfills some of the basic needs of people. Filipino values may be attributed into many influences. This can be from its ancestors or influence from its colonizer. Some values are bipolar, meaning it can be positive or negative.
Positive values. Bayanihan. A Filipino community spirit and cooperation wherein a group of individual extends helping and without expecting any remuneration. It is characterized by communal work towards one goal, spirit in carrying a nipa house or pushing passenger jeepney. Bayanihan is for example, kita nga mga pilit na sa ating barangay or sa ating purok ga puligay kita na what ginangayo nga ano nga kapalit nga or bayad mura buli kita sa mga sa katao murang bayanihan. Number 2, damayan system. Sympathy for people who lose their loved ones in case of death of a certain member of the community. The whole community sympathizes with the family, neighbor, friends, and relatives of the deceased usually gives certain amount of money as their way of showing sympathy. Damayan system is once nga napatayan kita kang part ka pamilya or ingin natin balay ang mga friends natin o mga kapakaisahan gatugo sanda kang kwarta mga ginatawag na abuloy para sa pamilya nga na patayan. Number 3, fun-loving trait. A trait found in the most Filipinos, a trait that makes them unique, that even in time of calamities and other challenges in life, they always have something to be happy about, a reason to celebrate. Ang fun-loving trait, for example, once na may kalamidad sa atin na barangay or patas kasunog or mga typhoons, mga earthquake, may mga ang gobyerno or ang may kaya katuguro sila ka mga relief goods na para lang na mga happy na biskan what ngayo mga kapalit na biskan what mga birthday mga tao sila ka mga relief goods. Hospitality. A Filipino trait of being receptive and generous to guests. Hospitality Kasi may mga bisita kita mga Pinoy, mga Pinoy, natin ginarespeto, tapos ginahandaan ka mga pagkain, ka mga merienda, mga hospitality. Compassionate, academic trait of being sympathetic to other even if the person is a stranger. An example of this giving understanding is observed when we hear Filipino saying, kawawa naman o nakakawawa naman. Ang passionate sa aking pag-intindi, once na for example sa akin, once na nanakawan o di kaya yung sakit ng mga kita mga Pilipino, daw gano'n kita mga kapitulo o yung mga Tapos number 6, respect to elders. A Filipino trait of being churches both in words and in action to the people of elder people. Respect to elders, for example, kita mga bata dahil respeto kita sa ating mga mga gurang sa atin. Maraming positive values. Number 1, bayanihan. 2, damayan system. Fun-loving trait. Hospitality. Compassionate. Respect to elders.
The next topic is negative values. 1. Bahala na attitude. 2. Colonial complex or blue cell mentality. 3. Grab mentality. 4. Filipino time. 5. Pakikisama. 6. Manana habit. Negative values. Bahala na attitude. A Filipino trait characterized by retreating or withdrawal from certain undertaking and leaving everything to God to interfere and determine the outcome of his deeds. So, ang bahala na attitude is isang katangiang Pilipino na nailalarawan sa pamamagitan ng pag-urong o pag-alis sa isang tiyak na gawain at ipapaubaya ang lahat sa Diyos upang makialam at matukoy ang kahihinatnan ng kanyang mga gawa. So, ang bahala na attitude is ang mga Filipino traditions or Filipino nga kahiligan ka mga Filipino nga hambalan sa mga bawat nga wala ti may mahambal sanda like. Example, may mahamba ka ni mga sa din kita maagto, bahala ron do gina kung wala kita ti may mabanggit nga harambalon is ang ginasabat lamang natin is bahala ron. Tama bala ka na. Number 2. Colonial complex or blue cell mentality. A Filipino value of showing high admiration and preference to foreign produce goods over local ones. So, ang colonial complex or blue cell mentality, isang Pilipinong halaga ng pagpapakita ng mataas na paghanga at kagustuhan sa mga produkto gawa ng dayuhan kaysa sa mga lokal. So, ang meaning na kaya is mas gusto pa natin ang mga produkto kang mga ibang bansa kaysa sa atin nga mga produkto dito sa Pilipinas. Kaya ang produkto kay ibang bansa is mahambal natin nga nami. Do mas gusto pa natin nga ang anda nga produkto kay social kag kisa iba may pagka-pricey do mga mamabla ka na. So do wala natin gina-amaze ang atin nga mga produkto. Do mas bet pa natin ang mga ibang bansa, do mga mukan, do mas bet pa natin ang anda nga mga produkto kaysa sa atin nga mga produkto. Next, number 3. Crab mentality, a Filipino attitude characterized by an attempt to pull down someone who has achieved success beyond the others. This is done out of jealousy and insecurity. So, ang crab mentality is, Ang crab mentality is, Isang saloobin ng Pilipino na nailalarawan sa pamamagitan ng pagtatangkang hilahin pababa ang isang taong nakamit ang tagumpay ng higit sa iba. Ginawa ito dahil sa selos at kawalan ng kapanatagan. So, for the example of crab mentality, bali sa pamilya mo, Merigan kasi isang kapamilya mo nga nag-angat-angat sanda, tapos may isang kapamilya nga medyo por pagamay doson tiyang ang mga pamilya mo to nga sara is selosa dason kayong gitana sa sangka pamilya nga nag-angat-angat do kaya nanda baklon mga ama mo ko dya, kaya nanda baklon ng mga gamit, mga pagkaon, tiyang sangka pamilya mo to inggetera gitana hindi kita nasugot nga dyan tana lang karakuton nga gusto na pati man tana mo karat amor do gina siraan ng sang kapamilya tapos ginahila na pababa. Bali digyan na kanatan nga mga Pinoy nga mga kalabanan amugid kara ginahila natin pababa ang sangkataho nga nakamitan ang tagumpay dura naton sanda gina appreciate do bali di lang dagid matanggap raw nga syempre selosa tama karatan. So number 4 number 4 Filipino time. In reality, Filipino time means always late, a Filipino attitude of empressiness towards time. Sa katotohanan, ang Filipino time ay nangangahulugang laging huli, isang Pilipinong salubi na hindi tumpak sa oras. So, balikin natin rin for the example, may panawan ka mo magbarkada. Dason, ikaw nawilit mo katurog, dason sang kabarkada mo, mapagturin dito kung sa din ka mo mamit, dason machat ka mo barkada mo, sa din ka ron, ka oras maabot, rigya, tapos ikaw nga bago ka bugtaw hambalan mo ay pagturin ako dyan pasakay rin ako pero bago ka palang bugtaw karamamba ko nga mga 10 o'clock dyan doon ako pero at the end alas 12 ko nag-abot do balik na kupal kita sa mga time natin wala raho nga like mamba ka on the way doon ako pero gawsay ka pa lang mo gid kalabanan ginamba ka mga estudyante. So number 5 pakikisama, submitting oneself to the will of the group for the sake of camaraderie and unity. Failure to comply with the group demand, the person will be called walang pakikisama or selfish. The adherence to group demands have those our young to engage in bad habits like smoking, alcoholic and even drug addiction. So, ang pakikisama is pagpapasakop sa kalooban ng grupo alang-alang sa pagkakaisa at pagkakaisa kung hindi sumunod sa hinihingi ng grupo, ang tao ay tatawaging walang pakikisama o makasarili. Ang pagsunod sa mga hinihingi ng grupo ay nagturo sa ating mga kabataan gumawa ng masasamang gawi tulad ng paninigarilyo, alkoholismo at maging ang pagkalulong sa droga. So, amo gyang kalabanan sa mga grupo bala kaya nga American nga grupo nga hilig magsigarilyo, may dalang grupo nga hilig pero may dyan nga grupo nga sara nga wara. So syempre gamay mo tana sa mga amo ka nga barkada piktuhan man tana karay like isulsulon ka mga barkada na nga ay tistingi bala magsigarilyo, ay tistingi bala mag inom amo kara. Di syempre kung maghindi ka hambalan ko nanda nga selfish or wala ko ti pakikisama do makasarili ka nga rahang amor hambalan nanda kanimo ti syempre ikaw dumamayha man ikaw ti masabay-sabay ko lamang diyan sa grupo ti kung ano to baton ka sara buhaton mo man so wala ka ti choice kay diyan ko nagdapo sa grupo nga ti pulos nga puros lang sigarilyo pagkukulong so dapat napili kita ka mga barkada nga nami kagura ti bisyo to bali ang bisyo lang bala raw nga dunami man, bakit ko nga mga patos ka masigarilyo ka, maabay ka sa mga droga. Number 6. Manana habit. Delaying or setting aside a certain task assigned on the next day, also it can be done today. So, ang manana habit ay today. So, ang mananahabit ay pag-antala o pagtatabi sa isang tiyak na gawain na itinalaga sa susunod na araw bagamat maaari itong gawin ngayon. So, bali, amin na kahiligan natin nga like, mambal kita nga, for the example, mahambal ang mga teachers natin nga, mga maestra nga, ay may assignment ka mo, kailangan pasa nyo sa Lunes. So, ang ginhamba ka maestra nyo is, bata natin, Miyerkules. Di kita man na, chill-chilla na kita kaya. Kung pinsalan natin, hamba natin, may sumaan pa man. Di lang anay ako magbuhat kaya, mag-Facebook anay ako. Tapos pagkasurumaan, pag nga to, ay may sarang rumaan pagid. Surumaan lamang ako mabuhat rin. Di syempre ikaw, batang-batang ka. Mama ka raw, makatigin na buhat. Pwede man buhaton kaya. Di, pagka next day nga to nga, pasahay rin, dito ka matalang-talang, mag-aranser, ma-cramming. Di syempre, deadline din mo. Amo na pagpasa mo nga, pila mga days ka to, ang bakante mo, ra mo ginbuhat. Duwa mo blang kita ka mga Pinoy. Thank you.
The next topic, kultura, tradisyon, paniniwala at pagpapahalaga sa pagiging mamamayan ng bansang Pilipinas. Ang kultura ng Pilipinas o kalinangan ng Pilipinas ay pinaghalong impluwensya ng mga katutubong tradisyon at mga kultura ng mga unang mangangalakal at mananakop nito noon. Ang pananakop ng mga Kastila sa Pilipinas sa pamamahala ng Mexico na tumagal ng mahigit 333 na taon ay may malaking kontribusyon sa kultura ng Pilipinas ang wikang Pilipino na mas kadalasang kilala bilang Tagalog ay maraming hiniram na salita galing Kastila. Mga kultura at tradisyon ng mga Pilipino. 1. Ang paggunita sa mahal na araw. 2. Ang pagpapaalala sa santong patron ng bayan. 3. Ang pagdiriwang ng iba't ibang uri ng pista ng Pinoy. 4. Mga katutubong sayaw. Madalas na kaugalian. Pagmamano. Ang pagmamano ay kagolian ng mga Filipino upang ipakita ang paggalang sa nakakatanda. Tinutukoy nito ang pagkuha ng kamay ng nakakatanda at paglapit nito sa noo. Sabay ang pagsabi ng mano po. Madalas itong ginagawa bilang pagbati sa pagdating o bago umalis. Maagang itinturo sa mga kabataan ang pagmamano bilang isang tanda ng paggalang. Paggamit ng po at opo sa nakakatanda. Ito'y simbolo ng pagrerespeto sa mga nakakatanda. Mahilig makipagkapwa-tao. Kapag madalas silang may nakakasalamuhang tao, mapagkumbaba, nananatili pa rin ang kanilang mga paa na nakaapak sa lupa.
My name is Kira Jane R. Castillo. So, our next topic is mandalas na paniniwala o pamahiin. These are often traditional beliefs passed down through generations that influence behavior or decisions based on perceived luck, omens, or supernatural forces. People may follow these practices various aspects of life, such as wedding, funerals, or daily activities, with the belief that they bring good fortune or avoid bad. So, may kita nga mga pamahiin sa kusina, sa kasal, kapag may sumakabilang buhay, iba pang pamahiin. So, sa kusina, may apat kita kapamahiin. Bawal kumanta sa harap ng kalan, bawal kumanta sa hapagkainan, bawal paglaruan ang apoy, hindi dapat makabasag ng pinggan sa araw ng okasyon. So, natin dyan, bawal kumanta sa harap ng kalan. Bawal kumanta sa harap ng kalan, may masamang mangyayari. Nagmumula sa pamahiin o tradisyonal na paniniwala na ang pagkanta sa harap ng kalan ay maaaring magdulot ng hindi magandang kapalaran o masamang pangyayari. Bawal kumanta sa pagkainan, simbolo ng hindi pagrespeto. Bawal kung magkanta sa samtang nagkakaon kay ang aton bay nga pinsar daw ga focus dito sa may lyrics ka ginakanta ta. Ti kis malipatan ta na lang nga may pagkaon kita nga gaulat dyan sa tubang ta. So, kumbaga daw ginabaliwala nato na ng pagkaon kung sa mga malaang pagamba sanda nga basi ang grasya malagyo kay natin. Mukha na. Bawal paglaruan ang apoy. Baka lumabo ang mata. Ang paglalaro ng apoy ay maaaring may ugat sa ideya na ang matinding init o apoy ay maaaring magdulot ng pinsala sa mata. May posibilidad kin mga maguba atin mata kung magtutok kita sa kalayo. Mababad atin mata sa kalayo kay like kung maglantaw kita ka fire dance, ang iba nagahalin naman kay nagabatsyag kasakit kang mata. May posibilidad na bubulag kita. Hindi dapat makabasag ng pinggan sa araw ng okasyon. Ito ay simbolo ng kamalasan. Amo dyan nga pamahiin ng dogambal nga kung makabasag ko kapinggan sa okasyon daw gadararaan kang bad luck sa silid ka panimalay nanda. So kung pwede man lang iwasan ta. Be careful. Amo to ang 4 kapamahiin sa kusina. Sa kasal, may 4 pagkikita kapamahiin. Ang diyang mga pamahiin is, bawal isukat ang damit pangkasal, bawal magkita ang magkapareha bago ang araw ng kasal, dapat unahan ng babae ang lalaki na lumabas sa simbahan kapag umulan sa araw ng kasal. Bawal isukat ang damit pangkasal. Maaaring hindi matuloy ang kasal. Pero pwede man nga matuloy, pero may dyan gin nga mga matabo nga wala nyo gid kinaasahan pareho. Next is, bawal magkita ang magkapareha bago ang araw ng kasal. Maaaring mamamatay ang isa sa kanila. Amo na nga ang iba daw nagaband na lang na bayi sa bayi, laki sa laki. May dyan na nga term, wala lang kamaan kung ano. Dapat na ng babaeng lalaki lumabas ng simbahan upang hindi siya maliitin. So, kailangan ko nga ang bayi una magwa sa simbahan kaysa sa laki, kaya para mapanatili ang dignidad kag pagrespeto sa bahi. Kaya kung hindi ko dyan masunod nga tradisyon, may posibilidad ko nga naba ang paglantaw kang ibang tao dito sa bahi. Kumbaga doon maliitan. So, kapag umulan sa araw ng kasal, sumisimbolo ng kaswertehan. Daw amo kunura ang galid ka way to happiness and the strong relationship ninyo nga mag-asawa. Daw, kumbaga, daw good luck ang tao. So, amo to ang 4 ka pamahiin sa kasal. So, next is, kapag may sumakabilang buhay, may 6 kita dyan nga pamahiin. Amo dyan ang bawal matulog sa tabi ng kabaong, bawal magkamot ng ulo, pagsuotin ng pulang damit ang mga bata o pagtawid ng mga bata sa kabaong, dapat putulin ang kwintas na nakakabit sa namayapa, bawal magwalis sa araw ng burol, bawal matuluan ng luha ang kabaong. Matulog sa tabi ng kabaong, maaaring hindi mo mapipigilan ang paggalaw ng ulo mo. Kaya may posibilidad nga mabangungot ka. Bawal magkamot ng ulo, maaaring magkakuto. Kaugnayan na pangangaral na ang pagkamot ng ulo ay maaaring magdulot ng pagkakaroon ng kuto. Pagsuotin ng pulang damit ang mga bata, pagtawid ng mga bata sa kabaong para hindi sila guluhin ng namamayapa. So, kailangan ko nga
nakasuksok ang bata kang pulang bayo para hindi ko natanda paguluhon, hindi ko nasanda paguluhon kang napatay. Kag para di sanda ang manginway para makasulod ang mga bad spirits nga makagambala sa pagproseso nga makasaka ang spirito ka napatay sa langit. Mura. Dapat putulin ang kwintas na nakakabit sa namayapa para hindi na siya masundan. Kailangan ko nung nga doon ang kulintas kang napatay para hindi rin ta na masundan. Kag amura ang gambal nga idyan na lang gita na hasta nga tapos rin ang yugto kakabuhi na idya sa kalibutan. Bawal magwali sa araw ng burol bilang respeto. Bawal ko nung manilhig kay amura ang respeto rin sa napatay kag sa namatyan. Kay di ba kung may patay wala kita makita nga nagapanilhig. Gapurot lang karamo kag ibutan sa basurahan. Kay kung manilhig ka kuno, daw ginatabog mo ang espiritu sa mismo na nga balay. Mura nga wala tiga panilhig. Bawal matuluan ng luha ang kabaong upang hindi siya mahirapan sa pag-akyat sa langit. Bawal kuno maturuan kaluwa ang kabaong kay may posibilidad niya hindi ta nakasaka sa langit kay nagamalikid di siya sa mga nabili na ng pamilya ng mura. Next is iba pang pamahiin. Amo dya ang bawal manggupit ng kuko sa gabi, Friday the 13th, pagising ng alas 3 sa madaling araw, kapag may makita kang taong pugot ang ulo, upang hindi malasin. Ang ambal kang mga malaam, kung mga kuno kita kakuko sa gabi, daw gatao kuno ra kang gatao kang malas sa kabuhi sa magkapamilya no kita. Amuro. Friday the 13th, mag-iingat sa araw na iyon sapagkat may maaring mangyari sa iyong masama. Amurang kisa, ang iba, dawadlak na lang magwa kung mananda nga Friday the 13th. Kay may posibilidad ko nung nga disgrasya ka, may matabo ka ni mga sayid. Pagising ng alas 3 ng madaling araw, maaaring may dumalaw sa inyo pagising ng mga espiritu. Umura ko nga mga oras nagabugtaw ang mga espiritu, iba't ibang mga espiritu. Kag may posibilidad ko nung masaniban ikaw, tapos mabukas ang imo ko nung third eye, makakita ko kang mga espiritu nga hindi mo dapat makita. Kapag may nakita kang pugot ang ulo, maaari siyang mamatay. Pwede itong mapigilan basta ibaon lang ang kaniyang damit sa lupa. Kung may makita ko nung tao warat ulo, daw amura ko no ang senyalis nga may matabo nga hindi dapat, kumbaga daw kapahamakan or war nga matabo.
Every Filipino has his own identity very much different from other nationalities. His values, traits, and community life will stand out from the rest of other people. The Filipino values refers to set the values that the majority of Filipinos have historically held important in their lives. Hi, my name is Isabel Arcalion and I'm going to discuss the developing of Filipino identity, values, traits, community, and institution factors. So, our historical experiences daw ay nagpo-provide ng mga malalalim na katotohanan at kung paano natin nabuo yung values and traits. Pre-colonial era, ang mga Pilipino daw ay malalaya. In the system of the government was wide-ranging or extensive, malaki, in a small unit called balangay. Ang balangay, ito yung wooden boat Ang boat na to is a type of flush log boat built by joining planks edge to edge using pins, dowels, and fiber lashing. Kadalasan itong ginagamit para sa pag-trades o pagkarga ng mga gamit or cargo. Ito yung pangunahing kabuhayan ng mga Pilipino noon. Antonio Pigafetta, the one who recorded the voyage of the explorer Ferdinand Magellan. Ayon kay Antonio Pigafetta, sa naisiwalat niyo or nasa notes ni Antonio Pigafetta, ang isla daw ng Pilipinas noon ay malaya at mayaman in terms of economics. At nung dumating na Spanish colonizer na si Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, siya ay nakipag-agreement to a sanduguan with the native chieftain si Cardona of Bohol. Ang sanduguan o Blood Compact ay isang sinaunang ritual sa Pilipinas if makikipagkasundo ka or to seal a friendship or an agreement. Puputulin o hihiwain sa kamay na nakikipagkasundo o nakikipagkontrata at ang tubo na yun ay ihahalo sa likido, tubig man o halak, tapos iinumin nila parehas ito. Ang Blood Compact ay dito nakataya ang katapatan ng mga Pilipino. Parang kung how to cast yung promise. So, for more than 3 centuries, yung mga Pilipino ay tinutulungan nila yung mga colonizers to build a military fortress paid by their taxes, not only military fortress but also the government and religious foundations. Pero kahit na tinutulungan ng mga Pilipino, mga Spanish colonizers, hindi pa rin sila tumupad sa pinagkasunduan. Parang hindi sila naging tapat kung ano man yung pinagkasunduan between the Spanish colonizers at sa mga Pilipino. They forced the natives o yung mga katutubo na mag-forced labor. Sila rin nag-decide on how much the agriculture products worth, and they steal or grab the land of the magsasaka. Nililimitahan din nila yung freedom ng mga natives, yung mga katutubo noon. Nililimitahan nila yung freedom nun. But they make or keep making the Filipinos ignorant. Parang ginagawa nila ignorante ang mga Pilipino sa rule pa ng Spanish colonial rule. Ginagawa nilang ignorante ang mga Pilipinos kasi parang sila nag-decide kung ano mang gagawin. Lilimitahan nila at nag-decide sila kung ano man ang gagawin ng mga Pilipino. At sa katapusan ng 3rd centuries, under the colonial rule of Spaniards, may mga edukadong Indios or native Filipinos na they kept to themselves the original agreement. At dahil nga sa mapang-aping ginagawa ng mga Spanish colonizer sa mga Pilipino, ang mga ito ay lumaban against them to end the comprehensive rule of the Spaniards.
Hello everyone, I'm Lady Valerie Yuson, and I will be continue discussing about developing a Filipino identity, focusing on values, traits, community, and institutional factors. So in this lecture, we will discuss the role of Dr. Jose Rizal in enlightening the Filipinos about the oppressive structures brought by the colonizers, as well as the struggle for independence and the eventual achievement of freedom. So, Dr. Jose Rizal, a reformist from Laguna, utilized his talent and skill as a poet and a writer to awaken the consciousness of the Filipino people. Through his works, such as his satirical novels, No Limitang Here and El Filibusterismo, he candidly depicted the tyranny, oppression, and domination experienced by the Filipinos under colonial rule. These novels serve as a catalyst in igniting the spirit of patriotism or pagkamakabayan among the Filipinos, who had long felt hopeless and desperate. Rizal had immense trust in the Filipino intelligence and believed in their ability to understand and fight against the oppressive structures imposed by the colonizers. He relied on the Filipino people to rise up and bring about change. While he did not personally involve himself in the invitation for a bloody revolution, his last poem, Mi Ultimo Adios, seemed to favor the armed wing of the revolutionary struggle led by Andres Bonifacio. Bonifacio justified the need for a bloody revolution by pointing out the betrayal of the pact between brothers, highlighting the importance of upholding and social contract and the goodness of others, known as pakikipagkapwa-tao. The revolutionary movements against the Spaniards began to gain small victories across the country, but the Americans intervened to assist the Filipinos in their fight for liberation. In 1898, the Philippines gained independence from Spain. However, this did not mark the end of a foreign intervention, as the Americans remained in the country for the next 50 years and continued to exert influence in various aspects, including politics, education, economy, and military affairs. The Filipino revolutionists, who yearned for true independence, began to suspect that the Americans had no plan of leaving the country. This suspicion led to the Philippine-American War, which cost the lives of thousands of Filipinos and Americans. Due to the superiority and the might of the American military, Philippine President Emilio Aguinaldo eventually surrendered, signifying the end of the revolutionary struggles of the Filipinos. Despite this setback, the desire for freedom continued to burn in the hearts of every Filipino. The political pragmatist Manuel Quezon took the fight to the U.S. Congress and successfully won the Jones Law, leading to the establishment of the Commonwealth government. Quezon became the Commonwealth President, and in 1946, the Philippines finally received its independence. So the road to Philippine history is long and bloody, and by learning and fully understanding the history, you will learn so much as to why it is so important for you to love your country with your life and extend help to your fellow Filipino in need, and recognize the abuse of political power, and So we as a Filipino people who have been constantly under the rule of number of powerful countries has over time developed a sense of resourcefulness or the ability to survive with whatever we have. Um, we have the ability to make something out of almost nothing. And what makes us a Filipino? So beyond the resilience, adaptability, and having courage to face very difficult times, us Filipinos have shown that we are also most compassionate, selflessly eager, and always ready to help anybody in need. And this makes us proud to be a Filipino. And of course, citizenship is not the only marker of being a Filipino. Also, culture and history greatly influence the manner where Filipinos learn to live and behave today. People who are born and share common personality, traits, and values. So, generation after generations, common traits and values have been passed on that the Filipinos of today still embody. So the struggle for independence in the Philippines is a complex and inspiring story that continues to resonate with Filipinos today. It highlights the importance of courage, perseverance, and unity in the face of adversity, and it demonstrates the power of the human spirit to overcome even the most difficult challenges. And that will be all. So, thank you for listening. Sorry sa voice kay nasipon. Okay, next reporter.
Hello everyone. My topic is all about establishing a democratic culture. When we say democratic culture, is defined as the desire and ability of individuals in a population to participate actively, individually, and together to the government of public affairs affecting them. In the first part, just shortly after we made independence from the United States, Filipino democracy started to take shape. The Japanese occupied the country and established the Japanese-sponsored Philippine Republic. President Jose Laurel cushioned the impact of the atrocities and violence by constantly winning the trust of the Japanese while faithfully serving the suffering Filipinos. He was the guerrilla who fought his battle not in the jungles but in the embattled office in Malacanang. Sa first part, sinasabi na pinunasan ni Pangulong Jose Laurel ang epekto ng mga kalupitan at karahasan sa pamamagitan ng patuloy na pagkakamit ng tiwala ng mga Hapones habang tapat na naglilingkod sa naghihirap na mga Pilipino. In the second part, the defeat of Japan in World War II also meant the regaining of Philippine independence. Since then, we struggled to rebuild our communities and the structures of our democracy. Filipinos lived their liberated hope and dreams until the establishment of the 1973 Marcos Constitution. This placed the entire nation under the authoritarian rule of President Ferdinand Marcos. We have once again lost our freedom. We have once again succumbed to the mercy not foreign colonizer but a fellow Filipino wanting to pursue his development ideologies. This dictator initially delivered the needs of the Filipino people by improving infrastructures and government system. After 13 years under the martial law, the people became fed up with so much corruption, injustice, and violence that eventually led to EDSA revolution. The Philippine power in EDSA remains to be compelling message to the world that the Filipinos value freedom so clearly. At sa second part, ang pagkatalo ng Japan sa World War II ay nangangahulugan din ng muling pagtatamo ng kalayaan ng Pilipinas. Nabuhay ang mga Pilipino sa kanilang mga pinapalaya na pag-asa at pangarap hanggang sa pagkatatag ng 1973 Constitution. At dahil doon, ang people power sa EDSA ay nanatiling isang nakakahimok na mensahe sa mundo na pinapahalagahan ng mga Pilipino ang kalayaan. And the last part, the historical bloodless EDSA People Power Revolution guided the promulgation of the 1987 Constitution. This document defined how the institution and the system of government function in the way of democracy. Since President Corazon Aquino until the present administration under the President Rodrigo Duterte, the Filipinos became highly vigilant and watchful to safeguard the democratic process in communities. The people's assertions of peaceful and assertive means of participation to government in democratic election and representation are healthy indications that the Filipinos have matured in their quest for real independence. At sa last part, tinutukoy ng dokumentong ito kung paano gumagana ang mga institusyon at sistema ng pamahalaan sa paraan ng demokrasya, mula kay Pangulong Corazon Aquino hanggang sa kasalukuyang administrasyon sa ilalim ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Ang mga Pilipino ay naging lubos na mapagmatsyag at mapagbantay upang pangalagaan ang mga demokratikong proseso sa mga komunidad. Ang mga paninindigan ng mamamayan sa mapayapa at mapanindigang paraan ng pakikilahok sa gobyerno at demokratikong halalan at representasyon ay malusog na indikasyon na ang mga Pilipino ay matured na sa kanilang paghahangad para sa tunay na kalayaan. And the Philippines democracy has a representative democracy modeled on the U.S. system. The 1987 Constitution, adopted during the Aquino administration, re-established a presidential system of government with a bicameral legislature and an independent judiciary. For the summary of this topic, simply stated, cultural democracy is the notion that everybody's heritage and cultural expression is worthwhile and deserving of an equitable share of whatever resources are available. That's all, everyone. I hope you'll learn something about my report. Thank you, ma'am, and have a nice day, everyone.
Good day, everyone. I am Rod G. Espanueva. So today I'm gonna discuss in recognitions of the importance of people power and the fortifications of democratic culture. The 1987 Constitution ensures the following: that the government and afford full protections of Filipino workers here and abroad and provide equality of employment opportunities. Ito ay nangangahulugang ang gobyerno ay dapat magbigay ng kumpletong proteksyon sa mga manggagawang Pilipino sa loob at sa labas ng bansa, at tiyakin ang panay-pantay na oportunidad sa trabaho. Halimbawa, kung may isang Filipino worker na nagtatrabaho sa ibang bansa, ang gobyerno ay dapat magkaroon ng mekanismo para sa kanyang kaligtasan at benepisyo. At dapat din tiyakin na walang diskriminasyon sa pag-angkop ng trabaho sa mga mamamayan nito. So tama diba? Responsibilidad din ng mga gobyerno na protektahan ang kaligtasan at benepisyo ng mga Filipino workers na nagtatrabaho sa ibang bansa. So dapat din nilang itong isakatuparan sa pamamagitan ng pagtatag ng mga mekanismo at regulasyon na naglalayong masiguro ang kanilang kapakanan. Sa pamamagitan ng maayos na implementasyong ng mga patakaran at regulasyon na ito, maaaring mapanatili ang karapatan at kagalingan ng mga Filipino workers na nagsusumikap sa ibang bansa para sa kanilang pamilya at kinakabukasan. That everyone guarantees the right of workers to self-organization, collective bargaining and negotiations, and peaceful concerted activities in accordance with law. Ito ay nangangahulugang ang lahat ay may responsibilidad na itaguyod ang karapatan ng mga manggagawa na mag-organisa, makipag-usap ng kolektibo at magnegosasyon, at magsagawa ng mapayapang aksyon na may batayan sa batas. Halimbawa, kung ang isang grupo ay manggagawa sa isang kumpanya ay nais magbuo ng unyon upang mapabuti ang kanilang mga kondisyon sa trabaho, dapat itong respetuhin at suportahan ng lahat, kasama na ang kumpanya at gobyerno. Ang kolektibong pag-uusap at negosasyon ay mahalaga para sa manatili ang karapatan at kapakanan ng mga manggagawa. So, ang pagsuporta mula sa lahat ng sektor, kabilang ang kumpanya at gobyerno, ay mahalaga upang maging maayos at makatarungan ang proseso ng pagbuo ng unyon. Ang respeto sa karapatan ng manggagawa na magkaroon ng kinatawan at magsagawa ng kolektibong negosasyon ay nagbibigay daan sa maayos na pagtutulungan sa pagitan ng manggagawa, kumpanya at gobyerno. Sa pamamagitan ng kolektibong pag-uusap at negosasyon, maaaring maiparating ng unyon ang mga isyu at adhikain ng manggagawa. Ito'y nagbubukas ng pinto para sa maayos na pagtutulungan at pagtataguyod ng mas makatarungan at mas maginhawang kondisyon sa trabaho para sa lahat ng sangkot ng partido. Next, that institution coming the Knights of Farmers and Landowners, as well as cooperatives and farmers organization. Ang mga institusyon ay dapat magtaguyod ng kapakanan ng mga magsasaka at may-ari ng lupa, kasama na ang mga kooperatiba at organisasyon ng mga magsasaka. Halimbawa, maaaring isama dito ang mga ahensya ng gobyerno o mga grupo na naglalayong protektahan ang karapatan at kagalingan ng mga magsasaka at may-ari ng lupa. Ang kooperatiba at organisasyon ng mga magsasaka ay maaaring magsilbing tulay para mapabuti ang kanilang kalagayan at makamit ang mas makatarungan at maayos na pamamahagi ng yaman mula sa lupaing sakahan. Ang mga ahensya ng gobyerno tulad ng Department of Agrarian Reform or DAR ay may mahalagang papel na pangangalaga ng karapatan at kagalingan ng mga magsasaka at may-ari ng lupa. Ang kanilang misyon ay naglalayong ipatupad ang reformang agraryo at mabigay na suporta sa pagmamahagi ng lupa sa mga magsasaka. Ito'y isang hakbang para mapanatili ang katarungan at pantay-pantay na pag-akses sa lupang sakahan. Ang kooperatiba at mga organisasyon ng mga magsasaka sa kabilang banda ay maaaring magsilbing tulay sa pagitan ng magsasaka at pamahalaan. Ito ay nagbibigay daan para sa kanilang kolektibong lakas at pagkakaisa, na nagre-resulta sa mas malakas na boses at pagkilos sa pagtutulungan. Sa pamamagitan ng kooperatiba, ang mga magsasaka ay maaaring magtagumpay sa pag-aangkat ng kanilang produkto, makabili ng inupang kagamitan at mapabuti ang kanilang negosyo. Ang organisasyon ay nagbibigay ng plataporma para sa masusing pag-uusap at pagpaplano ng mahakbang na makatulong sa ikauunlad ng sektor ng agrikultura. Sa pangkalahatan, ang ugnayan ng mga magsasaka, kooperatiba, ahensya ng gobyerno at iba pang sektor ng lipunan ay mahalaga sa pagbuo ng mas makatarungan at maayos na sistema ng agrikultura na naglalayong mapabuti ang kalagayan ng mga magsasaka at may-ari ng lupa. Next, that authorities protect the rights of subsistence fisherfolks. Ito ay nangangahulugang ang mga autoridad ay dapat protektahan ang karapatan ng mga mangingisda nagtutroso para sa kanilang pangangailangan sa pang-araw-araw. Halimbawa, kung may mga subsistence fisherfolks na umaasa sa pangingisda para sa kanilang pagkain at kabuhayan, ang mga autoridad ay dapat magtaguyod ng mga patakaran at mekanismo upang mapanatili ang kanilang karapatan, tulad ng pagbibigay ng ligtas na pook para sa kanilang pangingisda at pagsiguro na hindi sila apektuhan ng hindi makatarungan o mapanirang mga gawain. Ang mga subsistence fisherfolks o mga taong umaasa sa pangingisda para sa kanilang pangunahing pangangailangan ay may karapatan mapanatili ang kanilang pamumuhay at kabuhayan. Upang matiyak ito, mahalaga ang pagtataguyod ng mga patakaran at mekanismo mula sa mga autoridad. Ang pagbibigay ng ligtas na pook para sa kanilang pangingisda ay isang mahalagang akbang. Ito ay naglalayong protektahan ang kanilang kaligtasan habang nasa karagatan. Kasama rito ang pagsusulong ng regulasyon at polisiya na naglalayong mapanatili ang kalusugan ng mga yamang dagat at mga tradisyonal pangingisda. Ang pagsiguro na hindi sila naapektuhan ng hindi makatarungan o mapanirang mga gawain ay nagbibigay proteksyon sa kanilang kabuhayan. Ito ay maaaring isagawa sa pamamagitan ng mahigpit na pagpapatubad ng environmental regulations, pagmamatyag sa illegal na pangisda at pagtutok sa pagpahayag ng kanilang mga karapatang pangisda. Sa pangkalahatan, ang mga patakaran at mekanismo na ito ay naglalayong mapanatili ang ecological balance ng karagatan, maprotektahan ang kabuhayan ng subsistence fisherfolks, at tiyakin na ang kanilang karapatan ay respetuhin at hindi maapektuhan ng hindi makatarungan o mapanirang gawain sa kanilang komunidad. Next, that the people may pursue and protect within the democratic framework their legitimate and collective interest through peaceful. Ito ay nangangahulugang ang mga tao ay may karapatan na sundan at protektahan sa loob ng demokratikong sistema ang kanilang lehitimo at kolektibong interes sa pamamagitan ng mapayapang paraan. Halimbawa, kung may isang sektor na lipunan na nais ipaglaban ang kanilang karapatan sa lipunan o sa trabaho, maaari silang mag-organisa ng mga maligaya at mapayapang kilos protesta o magsagawa ng mga konsultasyon at pag-uusap sa pamahalaan upang itaas ang kanilang mga isyu. Ang demokratikong sistema upang itaas ang kanilang mga isyu. Ang demokratikong sistema ay nagbibigay daan para sa partisipasyon ng mamamayan sa pagpapasya at pagsusulong ng kanilang pagkalahatang kapakanan. Kung may isang sektor na lipunan na nais ipaglaban ang kanilang karapatan sa lupa o sa trabaho, maaari silang mag-organisa ng maligaya at mapayapang kilos protesta upang iparating ang kanilang mga hinaing. Ito'y isang paraan ng malayang pahayag ng saloobin na nagbibigay diin sa kanilang kolektibong boses at pagkakaisa. Sa ilalim ng demokratikong sistema, binibigyan ng pagkakataon ang mamamayan na magilahok sa proseso ng pagpapasaya. Ang pamamahagi ng hinaing at pangangailangan sa pamahalaan maaring gawin sa pamamagitan ng mga konsultasyon at pag-uusap. Ito'y nagbibigay ng oportunidad para sa masusing pagsusuri ng mga isyu at pagtutok sa mga solusyon o aksyon ng makakatulong sa pag-unlad at proteksyon ng karapatan sa nagsasabing sektor. Ang demokratikong sistema ay nagbibigay diin sa partisipasyon ng mamamayan sa pagpapasya kung saan ang mga individual at sektor ng lipunan ay may karapatan na ipahayag ang kanilang opinyon at makiiisa sa mga usapan na may epekto sa kanilang buhay. Ito'y isang mahalagang bahagi ng pagtaguyod ng panay-pantay na karapatan at pagkakataon para sa lahat. Next, that the government ensures the right of the people and their organization effective and reasonable participation at all level of social, political, and economic decision-making. Ito ay nangangahulugang ang gobyerno ay dapat tiyakin ang karapatan ng mga tao at kanilang mga organisasyon na magilahok ng apektibo at makatarungan sa lahat ng antas ng desisyon ukol sa lipunan, politika at ekonomiya. Halimbawa, dapat bigyan ng sapat ng pagkakataon ang mamamayan na mabigyan ng kanilang opinyon at maging bahagi sa mga konsultasyon, pagpaplano at decision-making process ng pamahalaan. Ito ay maaaring isagawa sa pamamagitan ng pagbuo ng mga consultative bodies, pagdinig at iba pang mekanismo ng partisipasyon na nagbibigay boses sa iba't ibang sektor ng lipunan. So, ang pagbibigay ng sapat ng pagkakataon sa mamamayan na magbibigay ng kanilang opinyon at maging bahagi sa mga konsultasyon, pagpaplano at decision-making process ng pamahalaan ay isang fundamental na aspeto ng demokratikong pamamahalaan. Ito'y naglalayong tiyakin na ang mga desisyon na nagbubukas ng bawat mamamayan ay maaayon sa kanilang pangangailangan at karapatan. Sa pamamagitan ng mekanismo ng partisipasyon tulad ng consultative bodies, ang pamahalaan ay nagbibigay diin sa pangangailangan ng mga mamamayan na magkaroon ng boses sa proseso ng pagdesisyon. Ito ay nagpapalakas ng transparensiya at accountability at nagbibigay ng kapangyarihan sa mamamayan na magkikiisa sa pagbuo ng mga patakaran at programa na may direktang epekto sa kanilang buhay. Next, that Congress provides a system of initiative and referendum where people can directly propose and enact or reject laws passed by Congress or local legislative body. Ito ay nangangahulugang ang Kongreso ay dapat magbigay ng sistema ng initiative at referendum kung saan ang mga tao ay maaaring direkta manguna sa pagmumungkay, pagsasabatas o pagsasabing reject ng mga batas na pinapasa ng Kongreso o lokal na legislatura. Halimbawa, kung mayroong isang grupo ng mamamayan na nais magkaroon ng batas ukol sa environmental conservation, maaari silang gumamit ng initiative upang ipasa ito at pagkatapos maaari rin ang ibang mamamayan na referendum ito kung nais nilang i-reject o i-approve. Ito ay isang paraan ng mas malapit na partisipasyon ng mamamayan sa proseso ng pagbuo ng batas. So, tama nga naman, ang paggamit ng initiative at referendum ay may mga paraan ng mas malapit na partisipasyon ng mamamayan sa proseso ng pagbuo ng batas. So, sa paggamit ng initiative, ang isang grupo ng mamamayan ay maaaring magtulak ng panukala para sa isang batas. Ito ay nangangahulugang silang mismo ang mag-aambag ng mga suhestiyon o probisyon para sa environmental conservation. Ang layunin nito ay mabigyan ng boses ang mamamayan sa pagpaplano at pagpatupad ng patakaran ng may direktang kinalaman sa kanilang kapaligiran.
So, good day everyone. I am Joval G. Malandak and I will continue to discuss the last topic, which is the rule of the people, starting with the democracy. So, according to this module, democracy is described as the awareness and understanding that the self and community are both the foundation of democratic practice and a result of it. Yet, studies confirm that the presence of democratic institutions is no guarantee that the people are able to exercise their rights and obligations. What are the attributes of democracy? Based on the discussion above, the following are identified as attributes of a democratic society. First is empowerment on the people, consultation, popular decision making, total development, delivery of services, fair and impartial system of justice, accountability of public officials, promoting respect for the rights of others, concern for their welfare, unity, justice, and equity. So, as I've said, ang democracy daw is an awareness and understanding of the self and the community. So, when we say democracy, it has to be not just a single perception, but a, a unison between the government or the community and yourself or the people. Because that's what you call the freedom. Democracy is the freedom, free to express yourself, freedom to vote. So it is the awareness and understanding that the self and community are both the foundation of democratic practice and the result of it. Yet, according to studies, that the presence of democratic institutions is no guarantee that the people are able to exercise their rights and obligations. So, according to studies, there are still um, there are still observations and that the people are not uh, practicing their freedom or most of the people are not practicing their freedom because they tend to just close their self and not to show their not to express themselves. But as we observe right now, as we observe right now, democracy, I felt that democracy is starting to evolve, and as in democracy, many people are are free to do whatever they want, to fight for whatever they they believe and they choose. So the module said that there are what you call the attributes of a democratic society. So when we say democratic society, it is it is a place, or it is uh, your surrounding that practicing the democracia, or what you call democratic society. Just like they are practicing their freedom, they are doing what they want, and they're expressing themselves within the society. So, Hambalija, first is empowerment the people. So when we say empowerment the people, they democracy helps to empower people. It it serves as a channel for everybody to fight for what they believe. It it serves as a channel for them to for them to express themselves and to decide. So there is what you call a empowerment to the people because they can now stand for what they believe. So next is consultation. So when we say consultation, it is a freedom to gather in in to gather, just like in the barangays, they what you call their meetings, their assemblies, and they are they are free to consult, they are free to express themselves whenever there are problems in in their in their families or in their surroundings, and they can go to the barangay officials to consult or to come up a plan, whatever um, decision will will come out. So in a democratic society, there is what you call consultation. You can always you can always seek for help. You can always seek for um, for the knowledge of the officials of the authorities, and that's right. You can consult with everyone. Next is what we call the popular decision making. So when we say popular decision making, it talks, for instance, when we say decision making in democratic society, just like here in the Philippines, we are we are a democratic country, and we have the authority, and we have the decision to vote whether which government officials we choose. So just like in our and in the upcoming votes, voting for presidents, for the congressmen, to belong to the barangay officials, we can vote depending on ourselves. You can always um, we can always choose whatever we know that is reliable, and in decision making you can choose kung sino yung mga butuon nga barangay officials, and that's very important because ginambal makinamon niya nga dapat mapa-register. Then for example 17, 18, you can now you can now vote because among nga that is very important for us, na mamamayan, or the residents, or the Filipino residents. We must register and prepare to vote for the leaders of our barangays, so that one even one person can contribute to the society, contribute uh, good for the development of our society. So next is what we call the total development. So when we see total development, it's not just sa society or sa social aspects, but in all aspects, including social, economic, and cultural dimensions. So this is what you call the total development. It involves providing equal opportunities for all individuals to reach their full potential and contribute to the overall well-being of the community. So when we say total development, there is a enhancement in our social life, in the economic status of the society. Also in cultural dimensions. Even sa mga IPs, even sa their their freedom to have their education, and they have the freedom to acquire respect for our IPs, for the indigenous people, or even the tribes here in the Philippines. So not only as um, not only one, but together there is what you call the total development when we have a democratic society. Next is delivery of services. So in delivering services, it is crucial in a democratic society, ensuring that the government provides essential services such as education, healthcare, infrastructure, and public safety to its citizens. This ensures a basic standard of living and fosters societal progress. So, in delivery of services, in democratic society, we have the freedom to have the free education, um, provided by our government. For example, also free healthcares, mga infrastructures. For example, mga the mga roads. Yes, because of our tax, the government, ang ang balik kang government is to build infrastructures, and you have the freedom. We have the freedom, and we have the the authority to receive service. So this ensures a basic standard of living and fosters societal progress. Next is a fair and impartial system of justice. Yes. So fair and impartial system of justice is the backbone of any democratic society. It ensures that individuals are treated equally, their rights are protected, and justice is served. This fosters trust and confidence in the system, promoting stability and harmony within the community. Yes. So, excuse me. So, according to uh, the attributes of a democratic society, it has a fair and impartial system of justice. So, people, ang mga tao, they could they could acquire justice um, in whatever mga concerns and mga issues the society or the government is ensuring that there would always be fair and justice for everyone. So it also gives them the freedom to express themselves, to be protected, the people to be protected, and also give them freedom to promote or to express themselves. For them, for us to have a harmony, a harmonious and peaceful society. Next is accountability of public officials. Is an essential aspect of a democratic society. It means that those in power are held responsible for their actions and decisions. This helps prevent corruption and misuse of powers and ensures that public officials act in the best interest of the people they serve. So also in the attributes of a democratic society, there is also what you call accountability of public officials. So it is very important. For example, this will lessen the corrupt in the government. This would ensure the people, the people nga dyan sa uh, sa government or a public officials, this will ensure them to have a honest service to the people. It means that those in power are held responsible for their actions and decisions. So those who have the authority are also accountable and responsible for their actions and decisions. Next is promoting respect for the rights of others. It fundamental value is a fundamental value in a democratic society. It means recognizing and valuing the rights and dignity of every individual regardless of their background, race, religion, or gender. This creates an inclusive and tolerant society where everyone can thrive. So it also promotes respect for the rights of others. As a result, it could promote a peaceful society and we could see a unity in each and every one and whether in different background, races, religion, or gender. Next is concern for the welfare of others. Oh, concern for the welfare of others. So it also includes in the attributes of the democratic society. It involves fostering a sense of empathy and compassion towards others and taking collective action to address social issues and inequalities is from a sense of unity and solidarity in the community. Same lang man, it also promotes sense of unity and solidarity within the community. You can see, matawag ng na there is, as a consultation, we can always have seek help for one another. So with the help of the democratic society, we could what you call the bayanihan, we could help one another. For example, sa mga bagyo, mga typhoons, or anything yung mga calamities, Filipinos are very resilient overcoming those challenges in their lives. Next is unity, justice, and equity. It promotes the attributes of a democratic society promotes unity, justice, and equity for everyone. Unity means coming together as a community, transcending differences and working towards common goals. Justice ensures that everyone is treated fairly and equitably. And equity seeks to address historical disadvantage and ensure that everyone has equal opportunities. So these attributes, when present and upheld, contribute to the strength, progress, and well-being of a democratic society. They foster a strong social fabric and enable individuals to live fulfilling lives while contributing to the greater good. So this democratic society has a big impact, as a big benefits for everyone, for it enable individuals to live fulfilling lives, happy lives. Each and everyone within the society could have their rights, could have their freedom, and could fulfill all their dreams and could express themselves freely. So let's continue our topic. Let us go on to the action agenda for a democratic society. So there are four action agenda for a democratic society. So when we say action agenda, these are the goals with the action of a democratic society. First is to improve the political and social environment and reduce poverty through structural reforms in order to foster a sense of community and enable citizens to exercise the responsible for value formation so that rights and fulfill their obligations. So ang first is, ang goal nanda is to improve ang political and ang social environment. Also to reduce ang poverty sa society, to foster a sense of community and enable citizens to exercise their responsible for value formation. So mura nga first yung goal is to improve ang political and social environment. And para to reduce ang poverty sa society, and also kung ma-reduce each people or the people nga karoon ng kang kaya, they can also being active sa society to help one another, to 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 exercise their roles as a citizen. This action involves implementing changes at both the systematic and societal levels to create an environment that is conducive to democratic principles. Structural reforms may include policies that address economic equality. So, in order para mag-improve ang social, ang political, syempre may i-change karatanda. We need man to hear ang mga hinaing or ang mga concerns and issues so that maka-come up a plan on that to develop or to improve everyone, the political and the social environment. So this includes ang mga ma-address ng economic inequality, ma-strengthen ang democratic institutions, and ensure access to basic services for all citizens. Siyempre, mga basic services, matao kamayad sa mga citizens. So also by reducing poverty and creating a more equitable society. So ang mga gani kung ma-reduce ang poverty, now mga people can exercise their rights and fulfill their responsibilities as active members of the community. So number 2 is continually re-examine societal institutions. They inculcate rather than indoctrinate democratic, and citizenship values. So this action emphasizes the importance of providing individuals with the tools and knowledge to understand and appreciate democratic principles. It advocates for an educational approach that focuses on cultivating critical thinking, empathy, and civic participation. Inculcation involves teaching individuals to critically analyze social issues, respect diverse viewpoints, and actively participate in democratic process. By promoting an inclusive and balanced education system, individuals can develop a deep understanding of democratic values and become active contributors to their de- democratic society. So not only that they have their goals, but also to have their actions. Amarnto is to they promote inclusive and balanced education system. Individuals can develop a deep understanding of democratic values and become active contributors to the democratic society. So number three, incorporate cross-cultural activities in public and private sectors programs, including those of schools, churches, NGOs, and POS, so as to recognize ethno-linguistic and cultural diversity in the country and encourage the sharing of experiences. So they have also goals is to unite. We in the Philippines we have many. We have different cultures. We have different dialects. Multi-language is what we call it here in the Philippines, because we have many different cultures, traditions, and um, and dialects. So the democratic society, uh, the agenda is to unite the people. uh, Mostly ang mga ethno-linguistic and cultural diversity, mostly ang mga nasa tribe or the IPs people, we need that to include them to the program, to include them to the services of the government, to include them because in democratic we have the freedom to have to receive free education, free healthcare. Citizenship means that our leaders will take care of us, the followers or the citizens. So we have the right to to acquire those services. So recognize ethno-linguistic and cultural diversity in the country, encourage the sharing of experiences. This action highlights the significance of acknowledging and celebrating the diverse backgrounds, languages, and cultures within a democratic society. So, to acknowledge them, to celebrate the diversity, the different backgrounds, the different languages and cultures of the Philippines. It also involves incorporating cross-cultural activities in various sectors, including education, religious institutions, not non-governmental organizations, and community-based organizations. Also, even ang mga public and private companies or private organizations in public, still for the development of the political and the social environment, still ang dalawa biskan iba ang andang nga biskan magkaiba ng the public and the private organization, still mag-unite ka puntanda. For example, ang sa COVID, they are private companies, they are private organizations that are also um, obeyed or obliged to do what the public has to say. For example, ang pagsarado ka mga hotels, even ang even sa mga private schools, they have the modular system, because that's what the government or the public, uh, or the more reliable nga action to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. So there was called unity in diversity. Different backgrounds, different religions, uh, educations, institutions, they're still, uh, they they go to unite them and to have the opportunities for people from different backgrounds to interact, understand, and learn from each other's experiences. Social cohesion and mutual respect can be fostered. This action supports the belief that a democratic society thrives when it embraces and values its rich diversity. Yes, that is true. Number four, further promote the use of Filipino and Philippine language in all transactions so as to enable the articulation of citizenship and democratic views and values. So, this action emphasized the importance of promoting and utilizing Filipino and Philippine language in various aspects of society. In a democratic society, language plays a crucial role in communication, expression, and the articulation of ideas and values. By encouraging the use of indigenous languages such as Filipino in transactions and interaction, individuals can actively participate in democratic process, express their citizenship, and contribute to the preservation and promotion of cultural diversity. So, as I have said, that the Philippines are composed of different dialects. So, in order to communicate, in order to have the unity by each tribes or by each, uh, na mga by each people, they had to have a language for them to communicate. That's what ang Filipino here in the Philippines is the language that even different dialects still maka-communicate ka mo. So mura, they they goal to develop the Philippine the the Philippine language para magkaroon ng unity ang mga tao, and for us to understand well each ng mga perspectives, each ng mga perceptions and mga cultures and traditions of different different places. So our last action and agenda, continue to harness institutional as well as informal mechanisms that open up space for the exercise of citizenship and democracy, conflict resolution process, face-to-face dialogues, partnership among group sectors, even the government. So, this action recognizes the need for both formal and informal mechanisms to create spaces where citizens can exercise their rights, engage in democratic discourse, and collectively address issues. Institutional mechanisms encompasses established process such as conflict resolution mechanisms in face-to-face dialogues, which provide formal avenues for citizens to voice their concerns and participate in decision making. Informal mechanisms, on the other hand, refers to grassroots initiatives, partnerships among different groups and sectors, and engagement with government entities to foster collaboration and collective action. By harnessing both institutional and informal mechanisms, individuals can play an active role in shaping their democratic society, strengthening community bonds, and achieving common goals. Samartaan ng conclusion, by harnessing both institutional and informal mechanisms, individuals can play an active role in shaping their democratic society, strengthening community bonds, and achieving common goals. So, still there is what you call unity with both sides the institutional and informal mechanisms in order to strengthen community bonds and achieving common goals, there must be unity. So, ang mga, those are the action agenda of the democratic society. So, it is good that we have the goals for the development of the Filipino, for the development of the Philippines, and also there is what you call action. So not only we are planning, but we must, we everyone must also have our action to apply to have our to express our rights. So in conclusion, so if the government officials and the society cooperate with each other, respect each other, know how to handle situations, this will lead to a better democratic government, a stronger sense of community, a stronger sense of belonging, and a more stable, more meaningful, and healthier sense of self. So just like sa umpisa ko kanina that democracy is not only a one person view, but it must be a combination of the government and the society to have to reach those certain goals such as to have a to have those goals. We must, this the government and the society must help together. Muna nga ba nga kung ang government and ang society mag cooperate with each other, respect each other, know to handle situations, magaligid na to a better democratic government, a stronger sense of community, a stronger sense of belonging, and a more stable, more meaningful, and healthier sense of self. So the vibrant history of our nation emphasizes our fidelity to our promises and our desire to attain independence. We have explored all the possibilities to attain and sustain these values. The colonial influence may have tainted our values and traits, but we remain faithful to one another and to our nation. Despite numerous foreign influences and the opposition of authoritarian rule, we continue to build democratic communities and strong institutions to demonstrate distinct and separate national identity. Yes. So, many mga places colonized the Philippines. Also, they influence us with their cultures, with their traditions, and we lived by them. Nagkaroon kita kang mga nakabuo kita kang mga lessons, nakabuo kita kang mga traits, even traits kang mga nag-colonize here in the Philippines. And sometimes we are confused whether kung kung saliin kita because of those pasts, but still because of our longing to have our identity, our independence, we fight for our identity as Filipinos to have our separate national identity. So that's all in the political perspective of the self. We are the Filipinos. Despite those challenging past, because of our resiliency and because of our strong dependence with one another as Filipinos, we claim our independence and we receive our nationality. That's all. The political perspective of the South.